rotating a character to a different angle is always a total nightmare, right? Distorted faces, mismatched clothes. Well, forget about that, because today, a brand new solution just dropped that lets you precisely control up to 96 different angles from left, right to top and bottom, all while keeping your original character perfectly intact. Hello everyone, I'm SOTAI. Welcome back to the channel. If you caught my last video on Higgsfield Cinema, you know one of its killer features was generating multiple views from a single image to create those buttery smooth transition shots. Well, today, I've got some massive news for you guys. We finally have an open source, completely free, and incredibly powerful solution for this exact task. Introducing Qwen Image Edit combined with Multiple Angles LoRA. As you can see right here, this solution lets us easily shift the viewing angle from our input image. But the real game changer, it maintains absolute consistency, keeping the character, the outfit, and the spatial position of objects exactly the same as the original. Pretty insane, right? So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to build this workflow in ComfyUI, and we'll run a few tests to see just how effective it really is. All right, enough talking. Smash that like button for me, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get straight into it. Okay, before we jump into building the workflow, let me give you a quick intro to today's dynamic duo, Qwen Edit Image and Multi-Angles LoRA. If you've watched my previous videos, you already know the sheer power of Qwen Edit Image. Its prompt adherence is absolutely god tier, and the character consistency is just off the charts. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go dig up my last video to grab that basic workflow. But today, the game has changed. We have a massive addition to the arsenal, a heavy weapon that just launched called Multiple Angles LoRA from the team over at Filmmakers. Now, why is this so special? This LoRA wasn't trained the usual way. It was trained on over 3,000 Gaussian splatting data points. Simply put, it has an incredible understanding of 3D space, unlike those flat 2D models we're used to. And thanks to that, it gives us a total of 96 different camera positions. Sounds insane, right? That number 96 comes from a combination of 3 golden parameters you need to master. First up is Azimuths, or simply put, horizontal rotation. This LoRA supports up to 8 rotation angles around the object, from a straight-on 0 degrees, a slight 45-degree turn, all the way to a 315-degree spin like you're seeing on screen right now. You want an angle? You got it. The second parameter is elevations, vertical angle. You've got the full toy box here, from eye level, looking down, high angle, to that epic looking up low angle shot, corresponding to angles ranging from 60 degrees down to 30 degrees. And finally, distance. We have 3 cinematic standards: close up, medium shot, and wide shot. So what does this actually mean? Instead of sitting there praying and lighting incense, hoping the AI model understands, you just want to look a little to the side. You now have a precise mathematical formula. You want a 45-degree angle to the right. There's a command for that. You want that badass low angle shot like a Hollywood action movie. There's a command for that too. And most importantly, the core value here. It keeps the original character incredibly consistent. All right, that's enough theory to let it sink in. Now fire up ComfyUI and I'll show you exactly how to set up this workflow step by step. Don't worry, it's way simpler than you think. Let's dive in. And here is today's workflow. Honestly, it's just the workflow from my Qwen Image Edit video that I've tweaked a little bit. First off, as you can see, we're loading our models right here. We've got the latest version of Qwen Image Edit from November 25th. Following that is the Multiple Angles LoRA. And to speed up the pipeline, we have the Lightning 4-step LoRA right here. And of course, we also need the other essentials like the VAE and text encoder over here. Now here is the main workflow. You upload the image you want to edit right here. Then it's simply the inputs for the text encode Qwen Image Edit node and the K sampler. After that, it goes into the VAE to decode, and we save the image right here. I'll leave the workflow and model links in the corresponding Patreon post. Now, here is the moneymaker. To activate this LoRA, you must use the trigger word SKS. The textbook standard command structure is SKS plus azimuth plus elevation plus distance. For example, if I want to rotate this girl to the right, at eye level, close up, I would type SKS right side view, eye level shot, close up. You guys can refer to the list of 96 sample prompts on their Hugging Face page. I'll also include this link in the Patreon post. And just like that, our workflow is up and running. However, let's be real. Working while constantly having to open a 96-line spreadsheet to look things up and trying to imagine what Azimuth 45 degrees actually looks like is pretty much torture, especially for beginners. It's way too easy to make typos or get confused. That is exactly why, to optimize this workflow to a pro level, I highly recommend you install a custom node called ComfyUI Qwen Multi-Angle immediately. This is our savior. This node provides a UI that lets you select the exact camera position you want and maps it back to that prompt set. Just look at this Qwen Multi-Angle camera node. It's so intuitive. Instead of typing text, we're now playing the drag and drop game. We have the pink line for you to shift to adjust horizontal rotation, the blue line adjusts the vertical angle, and the yellow one is for distance. Or you can also adjust the levels right up here. For example, if I want to create the prompt I entered earlier, I just drag the pink circle to the right, keep the blue circle in the middle, and pull the yellow circle closer to the image. Or I can also fine-tune the zoom level, as you can see here. The output of this node is a prompt corresponding to the settings you adjusted. You just need to connect it into the prompt area of the text encode Qwen Image Edit node. The input is optional. You can connect it to the input image to visualize it better, or not. All right, so the workflow is complete. Now let's click and see the results. Boom. And here is the payoff. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? We have a flawless close-up shot, perfectly capturing the character's right profile. Just look at the detail on this side of the face, the skin texture, those signature pointed ears, the lighting, the vibe, and it matches the original image almost absolutely. Take a look over here for a second. The perfume bottle retains its shape perfectly. And specifically, check out the text SOTAI on the bottle. It's still clear, crisp, and not a distorted mess like we used to see with older models. And pay attention to this salon chair in the background. In the original shot, we might not have seen this entire section, but at this angle, the model automatically inferred and filled in the occluded parts based on spatial information. It basically understood, this is a sofa, so the hidden side must look like this. It looks incredibly reasonable and physically logical, doesn't it? This proves that this LoRa's understanding of 3D space is absolutely no joke. So clearly our workflow is running smoothly and performing even better than expected. Okay, one example doesn't prove anything. Now I'm going to torture this workflow with a few more tests to see exactly where its limits lie. First up, let's say I want a wider shot. I'll bring the vertical angle close to 0 degrees and drag the zoom slider all the way down to the lowest setting, hit run, and here is the result. Pretty awesome, right? The cool thing here is that the model has to invent the missing parts as the camera pulls back. Look at the character's lower body. It matches the upper body perfectly. The background expands naturally and logically. It feels like the original image was actually cropped from this wide shot. So smooth. Moving on, this time I want a top-down view, kind of like a security camera or a low-flying drone. I'll push the vertical angle up to about 40 degrees. Still holding up really well. Everything from the outfit to the setting is consistent with the input image. However, there is a tiny weird detail here. Look closely at the character's eyes. She's looking upwards. I tested this with a few other single portrait images and ran into the same issue. High camera angle equals the character's eyes glancing up. But interestingly, when I tested it with a group photo, this problem disappeared. The characters kept their focus on the camera perfectly. So I'm guessing the training data for single character scenarios might have a slight bias at this angle. You guys should try testing this out to see if you get the same result, and let me know in the comments below. And finally, we have the final boss test, the view from behind. This is a nightmare for most current AI models. I'm going to drag the camera position right behind the character's back. Let's see how it handles this. Wow, seriously impressive. Usually with this request, other models would give you a character with a broken neck, limbs growing out of nowhere, or color-shifting clothes. But here, the consistency is still incredibly high. Look closely. The hairstyle from the back, the ears, the folds in the clothing, even the shape of the perfume bottle seen from behind is recreated very logically. Especially the hand pose. No deformed fingers. The grip is still accurate and matches the original image. 10 out of 10 for quality. Thanks to this insane capability, you can absolutely create some truly cinematic shots. Like this one, a high-angle shot looking down at the character's back. Using this as an intro for a short film or a character introduction video would be absolutely chef's kiss. Clearly, Qwen Edit combined with Multi-Angles LoRA isn't just an image editing tool, it's a bona fide cinematographer right on your computer. And that's how you master the Qwen Edit image workflow with Multi-Angles LoRA for perfect, consistent views. Hope you caught all the tips I shared. If this helped, please smash that like button and share to support the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.